Greetings! Hello everybody and welcome to Coffer. I am your host Mark Dutton, and as you can see, the mighty Reds are warming up right behind me, and I am here today for Liverpool against Manchester City at the MetLife Stadium. This is absolutely awesome, so enjoy. So I will be giving a game review right after the game, but this is absolutely incredible. Liverpool against Manchester City at the MetLife Stadium. You never walk alone, everybody. You'll never walk alone. And welcome to the studio. So, as you saw, that was me at MetLife Stadium for Liverpool versus Manchester City. Now, that is my Robbie Fowler shirt. So, a few thank yous to get through straight away. I'd like to thank John Mitchie for that wonderful experience. Actually, in the stadium, we used a box suite and it was just phenomenal. I was able to take my wife and the kids. Some of my old former players came and we just had a phenomenal time. So John Mitchie, thank you. I'd like to thank Barry and Peggy from the Kilkenny House. Kilkenny House is in Cranford, New Jersey, and it is the #1 destination for all your alcoholic needs and food. It is a phenomenal place. I highly recommend you getting over to the Kilkenny House in Cranford. It's a phenomenal place. We'd like to thank Grant from the Red Bulls and all the staff over at the Red Bull Arena. We'd like to thank Barry over at Liverpool International Academy in New Jersey, and we'd like to thank all the Liverpool FC staff and Liverpool players for making the Liverpool tour such a wonderful experience for so many young individuals and myself. So let's get to it. We played friendly after friendly after friendly after friendly. We just finished playing Torino at Anfield on the end of our tour. We played Manchester City. We played Manchester United. We played Napoli in Ireland. And we played Torino, like I said, at Anfield. 4 games, 4 victories. So Manchester City game, in a nutshell, one of the best experiences that I've ever had. I mean, it was absolutely breathtaking. Biggest reason behind that was not only was I able to take my entire family, not only were we in this most magnificent suite, but as you can see, the tour player sign above my head, the Anfield wrap basically knocked on the door. The suite manager came to me, "Mr. Dutton, your guests are here," and in bounced Craig Hannon and the rest of the Anfield wrap. And we spoke about soccer, we took some photographs, we compared notes, and all of us were just really excited to get the season started this weekend against West Ham. Honestly, for me, as a fan of theirs, it was like watching the 4 Beatles walk in to the booth, and had the pleasure of their company for the Manchester City Liverpool game, and it was fantastic. The game is a spectacle. It was okay. I thought Manchester City were the better of the 2 teams in the first half. Again, Pep Guardiola playing a lot of his younger players, as was Jurgen Klopp. A lot of the young players starred over the pre-season and did a phenomenal job. None more so than Jones. I thought Jones was absolutely fantastic over the course of this pre-season campaign. He really stood out as a player who could play multiple positions. 17 from Liverpool. Could this be the next big star? So I think he's got a bright future. And one of the most coolest things, other than the game itself, was the fact that Sadio Mane comes on, Mohamed Salah come on, and the crowd goes crazy. It wasn't a full house in the MetLife, which was disappointing for such a big game. You think of the 2 of the biggest teams in the English Premier League, in the Manchester City and Liverpool, coming together. But I don't think Manchester City's fan base is as big as it maybe could be right now. So I think Pep Guardiola and Manchester City need to do a little bit more in promoting their team a little bit better. So when they came on, basically it was the Salah show back from the World Cup. Salah basically does a few tricks, a few juggles, cross comes in, and Camacho, who was another one of the young absolute stars, playing right back throughout the pre-season tour. Puts a wonderful cross in. Salah gets up like a salmon, boom, scores the goal. A little bit of, was it offside, was it not offside? But nah, we scored the goal. So I kind of want to fast forward through all the results. It was a phenomenal experience, phenomenal game. The parking lot at the end of the game, Liverpool win the game 2-1. The parking lot at the end of the game was my highlight, and the bus. We hired like a party bus and drove to and from the stadium in style. Everything we did on this occasion was just absolute class. When I haven't seen Liverpool play for the longest times. Last time I saw Liverpool play in America, it was Gibril Cissé's debut and Michael Owen's end before he left to go to Real Madrid, and we beat Celtic on that day 5-0. So we sung songs, we had a great old time in the parking lot, fantastic amount of Reds. Didn't see too many Manchester City fans, to be fair, in the stadium itself. It was predominantly red, as you can see from behind me in the opening segments. So that was that. So now loads of craziness happened. So as I'm driving to the stadium, before we got on the bus, my friend Barry from Liverpool International Academy, New Jersey, asked me if I wanted to take my kids to meet the Liverpool players the next day. So, long story short, we went to Liverpool's hotel in Short Hills. The players greeted the fans. All the Liverpool Academy youngsters got to go in with a bunch of the players, play games, had fun, and then they basically signed everything that the kids had brought with them, spent time talking. I've got my Liverpool shirt signed there by I think 11 different players. Absolutely phenomenal. The staff at Liverpool FC were first class, the players were first class. While this was going on, Liverpool players were walking past me, going out to their SUVs that were outside, beautiful cars that take them to their next destination, which was the airport for them to fly to Michigan, the big house, to play Manchester United. And I met one of my favourite players of all time. I think my favourite player ever was Steve Nicol, but second of all comes James Milner. And Milner walked past me. I was lucky enough to have a chat, put my arm around him, get a photograph. So there's a number of players that I talked to that were just absolutely fantastic. I had a lot of time for the fans, and we did an amazing job promoting the club. And again, special thanks to Peter Moore, because I feel like his influence has been huge on this tour. Obviously, coming from Liverpool, living in America, and then going back as the CEO of Liverpool Football Club, and the amount of promotion work Ian Rush and Robbie Fowler did on this tour was just second to none. So we then leave, go to Michigan, big house, Manchester United, Mourinho, full of excuses. They park the bus. They're not good enough to play against this Liverpool side. And we'll just talk about the highlight, which was Shaqiri and Daniel Sturridge was just put on a clinic, and then Shaqiri scores one of the most amazing goals that you will ever see. The funny thing was, I was home, I was watching the game with my son. My wife's best friend's child had never been to a Red Bull game. So basically, Grant from the Red Bulls, special thanks again to you, called me up and said, listen, we've got field seats for the game. So I was like, I'm not going to turn down that, not knowing what it was, to be honest with you. And I took Nathan to his first Red Bull game, and he was very excited. So here's a clip of his experience actually walking out to the front of the stadium, and take a look, see what you think.
Or the red you think?
It's awesome.
The flag?
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
And welcome back. And that, I mean, what do you think? It was like he walked out as a cage fighter or a WWE wrestler, and he basically walks out onto the field to the national anthem. I mean, what an experience. It was his first time ever going. You know, he really wanted to see the Red Bulls. He lives in Connecticut. To go out and basically sit on the field was insane. At the end of the game, we met some of the opposing players. We took some photographs with them. It was just, it just followed on from my experience of like a whirlwind of emotion from Liverpool, Man City, to the suite, to meeting the players, to then going to the Red Bulls, sitting on the field, watching a phenomenal 3-2 game, enjoying Bradley Wright Phillips, who scores 100 goals for the Red Bulls and the fastest player in the MLS to do it. So it was absolutely superb. Then we go over to Ireland, and again, Anfield Wrap, £5 a month, subscribe to Tour Player. I would definitely recommend it. They'd send over the crew there, and we play Napoli, and we obliterate Napoli. We play some phenomenal football. More of our World Cup stars are back, again sprinkled with a bit of youth, and we beat Napoli 5-0. Alisson makes his debut in goal, does an absolutely brilliant job. Played a few risky passes out of the back, made one key save, and you know, to get a clean sheet in your debut, it's all good. Liverpool's front three just looked phenomenal. You know, we integrated back Bobby Firmino, Salah, Mane, just 1 and 2 touch passing against Shaqiri, Daniel Sturridge. A joy to watch. Daniel Sturridge, it's really like getting a brand new player back. I think Daniel realised that when he went off and he basically missed the run that we had in the Champions League, and he goes to West Brom and he gets injured. I just don't think like that he saw his future anywhere but at Liverpool, and I think he's pulled his socks up. He's our top goal scorer over pre-season. He basically scored in every single game that we played. He looks sharp, he looks confident, he looks lean. I mean, wow. And I think the drop-off from Bobby, there's nobody there. There really isn't. I mean, the likes of Solanke, the likes of Danny Ings, they're just not good enough, and I think they're going to be shipped out. I think, obviously, Liverpool need to bring back just the Daniel Sturridge we saw 3 years ago, and I think Daniel Sturridge wants that player back. So I think now more than ever that he is really gonna put a mark on the season. We've said it before. Every season we seem to get excited about the return of Daniel Sturridge, and you know, can he replicate the Sterling Suarez season where he was absolutely incredible? And I think he can. I think this season will be huge for Daniel Sturridge, and I think him and Bobby Firmino will be able to share the responsibility. Also, you got to say, you know, 13 million for Shaqiri. What a player! I mean, not only was his bicycle kick against Manchester United one of the greatest goals you'll ever see in any format of the game. I mean, phenomenal. For him to have that in his wheelhouse and execute that so beautifully. I just want to go back and just talk about Jones's reaction. So Curtis Jones is stood behind the goal, so he's about edge of the 18 as Shaqiri hits it from just outside the 6 penalty spot area, and Curtis Jones just goes as Shaqiri scores the goal, like his hands are on his head. I mean, he's a fan of the club. He's been with the club for a long time. Must have dreamed of it, but he stood on the pitch in the game watching Shaqiri execute that against Manchester United. Breathtaking. But for Jonesy to have that experience must have been absolutely awesome. And then we played Torino at Anfield. For me, the most disappointing game out of all the games that we played from the start to the finish of the pre-season tour. And again, I mean, how many games did we play over the pre-season tour? It was staggering. I think we played 9 games from start to finish. That's incredible. You know, coming off the back of the World Cup, Liverpool basically played straight through, and then we finished tonight against Torino. We looked good first half. We looked sharp. We should have come in 3-0 up, maybe 4 or 5, to be honest with you. It was a good test for our Reds because Torino sat back behind the ball. with every player basically, and said, come and break us down, and we did that. Some of our one-touch passing was fantastic. We scored one of the most unbelievable goals where we played, I think, 6 first-time passes, and it falls into Mane. But they scored a goal after we went 2-0 up and we missed a penalty. Scored a great goal, to be fair. I mean, cross comes in. I think it's poor defending. Moreno's captain on the night, which is again fair. I think I would like Virgil van Dijk to be captain, but I think Moreno's been there the longest out of the two. So the ball comes diagonally across, unbelievable control, flips it back over his head. I think Moreno can double out, and there should be 2 defenders on him, but there's not. He basically crosses the ball over Van Dijk's head into a space where our young defender, who's done a phenomenal job in the game, can't get there, and Napoli score a bullet header past Alisson. Nothing he can really do about it. To be fair, he shouldn't have even dived because it was past him. That's basically what Chris Kirkland said doing the commentary on the game. The second half was poor, to be fair, and again it showed the level of players that we have. Danny Ings comes on and runs about a lot, has a couple of chances, falls over quite a bit, taking 2 shots. Trent Alexander-Arnold was back, he looked sharp. Like I said, Bobby was back in the first half. The second half, for me, was just poor. There was nothing much in it. Torino were content, I think, to lose the game. Basically changing so many players as well. Shaqiri was outstanding in the second half. Daniel Sturridge again looks confident, was good in the second half. Daniel Sturridge gets his goal. I mean, Shaqiri's this player that's going to be the difference maker, I think, on unlocking defences when people park the bus. And again, having the ability to bring Daniel Sturridge off the bench, if not start him, I think it bodes well for the season. So Shaqiri cuts to the 18-yard box, corner from going down the line, cuts back. Sturridge is brilliant. Sturridge is like this. Shaqiri, like his hands up, he's off the back of the defender, and Shaqiri just floats / pings a ball across 3 Torino defenders, and Sturridge just gets a glancing header. It's funny because he knows he scored. He heads it and carries on running with his hand up, celebrating, kind of Shearer style. I think he's got rid of this celebration. He didn't do it all the way through pre-season, so I think he might have put that one to bed, being a lot more serious and focused now. Daniel Sturridge. So he gets his goal. Liverpool win 3-1, and then we did a lot of promotion today at Anfield. I think the experience that I had, my family had, with the US tour was just incredible. From the way Liverpool presented themselves and how much they did for the fans. And I almost felt bad for the Liverpool fans back in England, because I know a lot of my friends was kind of scratching their head and like, how have you done this? We've lived in Liverpool for all this time and we haven't really seen Liverpool Football Club do too much in relation to promotion on our side, around our stadium. And that's pretty much the case. I remember meeting Jamie Redknapp when I was a kid, and I just thought that was the highlight of my young fanhood, meeting a player from the club. And I think us elevating our existence in USA has helped, but again, we need to do more with the fans back home. They pay week in, week out, go the match, and if there's anything we can do around Anfield to allow these fans, the opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity of meeting their heroes. So again, the players stayed around Anfield. They signed autographs. They jumped into the crowd a little bit. They gave away shirts. They did a little presentation this morning with Milner and Jurgen Klopp, where they basically signed autographs again, spoke to the crowd, did a lot of stuff in and around the city centre. So it's all fantastic stuff. And if Liverpool can do more of that, it would just be awesome to give back to the loyal fans actually in Liverpool. Like I said, we do a phenomenal job of promoting ourselves around the world. I'd just like to see us do a little bit more in Liverpool. So that's it. Honestly, whirlwind of adventures. The last couple of weeks for me have just been insane. I am so happy and so excited for the season, and never more so am I in love with Liverpool Football Club. We play exciting, unbelievable football that is a joy to watch, and I think Jurgen Klopp is doing a wonderful job, as is Peter Moore, and I just can't say enough good things about this group of players. Our squad, when you write it down on paper, looks insane. I just feel bad for those players that don't get into this team, because obviously the squad will be picked shortly, And the young players, like I said, have done a phenomenal job and must be knocking on the door of this team. But there's going to be disappointment from probably 2 or 3 of them that aren't going to make the final cup going into the season when we open our accounts against West Ham this season on Sunday. So, like I said, phenomenal US tour. I am so happy to be a Liverpool fan. This has been Caught For That. Can I get 100 likes on this? I'm looking for 100. 100 yeses, 100 thumbs up. That'd be fantastic. Like us on Facebook, Caught For That. Like the page. Like Caught For That on YouTube. Again, my name's been Mark Dutton. This has been Caught For That. You'll never walk alone, everybody. You'll never walk alone. Take care. Ta-da for now. Ta-da. And you'll never walk alone.